SpartanNerd here, and here we are at the end of the year. Time for me to talk about the best of the year. This year I've done more collecting and more reviewing than any other year. And I've been doing this a while, since like 2012. I started doing videos this year. So I'm just starting off. Here's my Hasbro stuff from this year. Now, I only got one new Transformer this year, not counting Shockwave, who's vintage, but Onyx Prime, and he's a good example, and I think I may go for these leader class Transformers for a while. Maybe slow down on my other stuff because Masterverse is getting less satisfactory. And I have a ton of Mythic Legions, so anyway, Onyx Prime, excellent. He has his problems too, like the ugly side of this bow and arrow, but you know. Now, what about G.I. Joe Classified? I got all these figures this year. There's no question, as a set, that the Dreadnought band Cold Slither is incredible. Now, that's a set. Is it fair to judge all of my classifieds that way? As individual figures, they all fall flat for G.I. Joe Classifieds. Put them together, and they're awesome with this package. So, you know, why didn't it come with a microphone? My favorite one to photograph and stuff is Shooter. She's got to get some paint, though. And it's Christmas break. Maybe I'll break out some paint. Paint that gun up. She's also the first lady I have, a G.I. Joe Classified. Tunnel Rat comes with a ton of accessories. But I think the #1 G.I. Joe Classified of the year is one I got at the beginning of the year. Naugahyde, Yabo, and Pork Belly. I like these so much. I might just get the Road Pig that comes with Pig. And he's also featured heavily in the new G.I. Joe issue that came out. Also, there is Law and Order with the German Shepherd. Well, I got a new German Shepherd too, so, you know, and I like these G.I. Joes that have pets. So the best G.I. Joe Classified of the year for me is Naugahyde. So we'll see how he stacks up against the best Mythic Legions and Masterverse. I've done so many ladies' action figures this year. I purposed in my heart I would do a category for them. So here's who I have from 2025. Starting with Evelyn. Oh yeah, look at the backdrop. Batman, Catwoman. This is a Christmas story. I think I might go back and read it today. Anyways, Evelyn. I mean, I love taking pictures of this. She's the best Evelyn I've ever had. And Evelyn is the first, historically, when I was a child, I got Evelyn for Christmas. I was about 11 years old or 12 years old. I got made fun of severely by my uncles, and that's fine. Here I am, 47 now, still digging the Evelyn. And here is Masterverse, New Eternia Teela. Now, my problem with Evelyn is she didn't come with any accessories except for this magic staff. She came with magic staff and beauty. That's it. That's it. Alternate hands, maybe. Teela came with lots of accessories and is a similar sculpt. She wants to fall down on camera. Similar sculpt. I'm going to tell you something, though. That's right. Let's take that hat off. Get that mask off. Mask, schmask, says Dale Gribble. Mask, schmask. Look at those eyes. She's rolling her eyes constantly at me. Something I'm used to. Ladies rolling their eyes at me. That's her downfall. Now, I've been spending some time on Reddit. Such a positive place is Reddit. And they put out a vintage Teela also. Same time they were selling this. And you know what? People were saying they were sabotaging New Eternia Teela, trying to get us to buy both of them. I've never even seen the vintage one on the shelf. I've seen it online and it's sold out. So if that was their strategy, it worked. Evelyn beats Teela. Sorry, because of that paint is just terrible. Let's come over here to Shooter. I've already talked about Shooter, G.I. Joe Classified, but you know, she's great. She comes with lots of accessories. I don't much like putting this gas mask on her, covering her up. I mean, you know, night vision gas mask. She got a pistol, you know, sniper rifle. Her accessories are bland, though they are there. She might be beautifully painted here. She came with nothing. She came with tons of stuff, and she's not bad painted, but her accessories are very flat and bland and boring. Especially considering that Naugahyde has a sniper rifle that's just better. So, seriously, Catra is not in this conversation, but showing her off. I mean, this is just more aimed at the children rather than the grown-up adult collectors, I guess. Though plenty of them do collect the Origins. This would be my second Origins figure after Ninja He-Man. I like that she comes with her cat self, which is practically functionally a pet. And that's the next thing I like to talk about. Belualyth from Mythic Legions came loaded with pets, accessories, everything. And if I had to say which one of these is better, the best in the collection from 2025, it has to be Belualyth. I mean, this awesome Chimera animal, Chimera, you know, she got bird, she got snake. She is an undead warrior. The worst thing about her is this hairpiece wants to always pop up because this is stiff hair when you put it on the back and everything. That's the worst thing, but you can get that to come down. So, yeah, my ladies collection from 2025. Yeah, just Belualyth stands a little taller than them, ratings wise, and she didn't cost that much more. I mean, I guess the price of Evelyn and Teela together, or the price of Shooter and Catra together. So she's kind of like double the price, but she's double the figure too. And so there we go. So I'm kind of on the subject of other types of figures that I got this year. And I didn't really rate these. These are mostly gifts, except for the Fisher Price Turtles. Here's the deal. These were gifted to me, and they have received tons of attention on YouTube. Thank you if you enjoyed my video of the Loyal Subjects Chibi Turtles, but I don't know why. Nothing else has got that kind of attention. And I feel like the Fisher Price Turtles are a similar item, and they barely got a sniff compared to the Chibi Turtles. But you know, I don't know. I do not know. I don't understand. The origins here. Yeah, this is new for me. I never had any origins. I love them. They're great. You know, it's a deep well to start collecting if I started up on that rabbit hole. But hey, they go with the vintage vehicles and stuff. So that's positive. And they're strict upgrades over vintage toys. There's no question about that. The vintage ones, you have it just because it reminds you, you know. But these guys remind you, and they add articulation. Count Chocula, that's new. I love it. Wacky. And then Shockwave, which I had as a child. I'm happy to own again. Just a couple of other smalls I picked up this year. I actually picked up Hot Wheels Fleet Track Fleet Optimus Prime at Dollar General. Obviously, there's one in a case. It was just restocked, and I got it for anybody else. There's a new comic book store in Spartanburg. Can't think of the name of it. Guy put up that he had this one in stock, and Facebook messaged him. I'd be up there to get it. I got it. I mean, it was like $8. So, just a couple of smalls that have really meant something this year to me. Optimus Prime, Hot Wheel cars. Now it's time to get to the serious reviews. Broad categories. So here I have Masterverse. 12 Masterverse figures for 12 months. Now, I didn't get one every month. It didn't pan out that way. Seems convenient, don't it? I have the good guys over here in the Buddhist section of Eternia. We all celebrate that, the Buddhist section of Eternia. And what Gar, maybe? I don't know. And the bad guys in the Grandfather Clock setting from the Rat King. All right, so let's talk about good guys first. Now, mind you, these are figures that I got this year. They may have been released earlier than this year. Also, I didn't get everything, obviously. There are things here I did not want. There are things that came out this year I did not want. For instance, I saw Anti-Eternia He-Man at Target the other day. Left him there, too. So I've already talked about Teela. Don't like what they did with the paint on this figure. That takes her out of conversation for best Masterverse of the year, don't it? Let me tell you something about Moss Man. He's not flocked, and he has minimal paint apps. He's big, and he's largely stayed the same pose because I just don't want to play with him. I don't want to get him down. I find him to be very boring and uninspired. Man of War, which is Man at Arms, came with a lot of stuff. This is the Revolution cartoon design. As such, not much paint on there. His face looks a little goofy. I mean, I've had him underwater, you know, going against Merman, whatever. I've had him in outer space against Cosmic Legions. He fits with that. So that brings us to Thunder Punch He-Man, who should have been the most celebrated figure of the year. But he's wearing that makeup. What is going on? He's got foundation on. Feel kind of negative, huh? So let's just go ahead and eliminate Moss Man. Eliminate Teela. Eliminate Man of War. Eliminate Thunder Punch He-Man. So this leaves who? Fisto and Roboto. Roboto. If I've ever wanted to go full-on hacksaw teardown of a figure, then it's Roboto. This guy is just so cool to look at, cool to play with, interchangeable parts, goes with Trapjaw, goes with Man of War, goes with Hordak. How come it took Mattel this long to figure it out? And, you know, if I had another one, I would totally get that helmet off of his head, expose the robotic insides to the world, because that looks cool and it would be very fitting of the character, chess playing robot that starts to fight. I love it. I don't have Revolution Roboto. He looks cool, and I thought about getting him too. But this right here, which that guy's for sale, like he's on sale right now. He's been warming the shelves, right? But this guy is not anymore. There's no more of them out there. All right, so this guy, terrific. Fisto, awesome guy. All right, so Fisto. I'm not showing it, but there's another head that's more classic. I like that they gave him this updated head, though, that reminds me of me. Since I have all this hair. Ha 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 ha. But it's like he's grown older, wiser, better. Only thing that's dumb is they didn't give us that big anime sword from 2000X. We did give the vintage style Jitsu sword. I love the paint on there. He's just right. The fist could be a little bit bigger. Could be. But it's not wrong. So of these two, you see who I think the winner is. Oh yeah. Roboto is taking him out with his rotating saw and his laser fist. I know Fisto has that cutlass sword. Hacking what up? A crystallized belly? It's not going to work. So, yeah, Roboto Masterverse figure of 2025, according a heroic figure of 2025, according to the SpartanNerd. Let's look at the villains. All right, my villains. Who do I have? I have new Etheria Hordak, new Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor, new Eternia Evelyn, new Eternia, not Etheria, Mosquitor, new Eternia, not Etheria, Mantenna, new Eternia Panther, new Eternia Scalekon. Now, Scalekon here is cheating. He's got the Mythic Legion's wings on there. I modded him and made him much better than he actually is. So Scalekon is a cheater. I mean, like, who is this guy? He's an NPC. That's who he is. He's also not part of my childhood. My adult childhood. Okay. This guy was not in my pictures. I like these skeleton warriors that Skeletor would have sometimes. The slime monsters. Those little robot guys look like Easter eggs upside down. But this guy, no. Mythic Legion's wings work for him good, but they're getting kind of loose. So he's out of the picture. Is it fair to put Panther in this conversation? He's a large beast. They did a lot of cool things with him. But he's not flocked. Like Mossman is not flocked either. Taking away something from the character. But they added something neat here. These leopard spots that are underneath the saddle, but you can see them somewhat on his leg there. He's got new armor. He actually has a helmet that's in storage. He always looks good. He needs to have somebody riding him. Or he needs to have the saddle off. I don't really think it's fair to put him against normal figures. So here we go. So where are our villains this year? Kobra Khan. I knew I was forgetting somebody. All right, now I'm back with Kobra Khan. You say, SpartanNerd, that's not the right head for Kobra Khan. No, this is the correct head. The correct dumb head. All right, okay, so there we go. Kobra Khan. This is also not the correct spear that came with him. He came with that little club that he came with as a vintage figure, and he doesn't hold it well in his claw hands, which he came with regular hands too. I just don't like this like plastic that they're using that's supposed to be a painted plastic already. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about here. There's no paint on this. Molded in the plastic. And it's boring. On the other hand, looking at the upgrade that I gave it, the Cosmic Legion head pack, that is painted. You can see a humongous difference too. It looks sort of wrong on that body, but sort of right at the same time. Kobra Khan is not in our best of conversation. Evelyn would be, except that she only came with this staff. Now it's an adjustable staff. You can make it the short version of the wand if you'd rather have that. Her paint is wonderful. This one right here, I just don't get tired of looking at and taking pictures of, putting her with on Panther. Yeah, let's do that now. On Panther. There we go. It just looks right. Seems right. But and you can tell that the SpartanNerd weighs the accessories a lot. So that means it comes down to these men's. So this year, to my knowledge, all we got was Kobra Khan. Battle Armor Skeletor and Kobra Khan on Skeletor's team. There was a new Eternia Beastman that's I call the Ugly Beastman. We already had a new Eternia Beastman that was better, and so I didn't get it. It's one of those things I passed up on. Like Modulok, hello? Right? Where's Modulok? But I guess they went heavy on villains the last couple of years, so they started moving on to the Horde. But the Horde brings ruin, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about the Horde. First of all, Mosquitor would be one of my favorite figures from vintage. He was. Carried him all the way to college. I rated this 5 of 5, but you know, the more I've had it, I've noticed some things. This is paint slop around this. Around this. You can see some of it on the back there. So paint slop around this spike. Around his eyes, you can see it. So he doesn't have the same problem as Kobra Khan. He does have paint, but the paint that's on here was shoddily done. And it's not like a design choice like Teela seems to be. It is just slop. Sloppy slop. I like the wings. And I like the color scheme. But this color scheme is one of the things that made the vintage figure work too, right? I like what they did with the different things you can do with his nose. Wish he had a crossbow. Horde members came with crossbows. But that is a cool gun. Mantenna, I just said over and over when I reviewed this, it's just so dark. This paint, no. This plastic. It's why I don't like Web Store. I wasn't that aware of him as a child anyway. Didn't have him. But Web Store is this color I just don't care for. And once again, no crossbow. We got this eyeball gun. In a fight between Mosquitor and Mantenna, Mosquitor wins. So let's get to the two big daddies here. Big daddies. Hordak comes with this pet. I like the pets. But you can see that as a pet, this seems like something you might get in a cereal box. Now he looks like Hordak, and the wings, once again, that is an improved detail, but those wings are molded and boring. The Mythic Legion's wings do not fit in there. That's why I drill holes in the Skeleton. He has a shield. He's Hordak. You know who he is when you see him. So, I mean, he has some improvements on the original design, especially the wings. But here we go. Here is our beast. Battle Armor Skeletor. I cannot think of a single weakness in this figure. From head to toe, he's awesome. He's got a helmet, a chainmail skull cap over his skull. What? A helmet you can put on anybody else. This is one of the best axes in the Masterverse line. He beats the Battle Armor He-Man badly. There's two of them. Mattel learned their lessons and knew how to update Skeletor in this way that he is amazing. And so that means we have a battle, huh? Another battle. I could say that Hordak and Skeletor should battle each other because maybe I like Hordak. He doesn't have as many problems as Mosquitor does on the paint department. But I've always liked Mosquitor better than I like Hordak. So to me, Battle Armor, Skeletor. So Mosquitor comes in to get some blood, finds, however, that Skeletor is undead. He's a skeleton. No blood. Sorry. Gets on there. Chop, 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 chop. Raid. Boom.
It's an irresistible force! Raid!
So, was there really a question of who was the better Masterverse figure? Battle Armor Skeletor or Roboto? Obviously, Skeletor is going to zap him with some Mythic Legion's magic effects. And boom, Roboto is now a bad guy. So that tracks with the new Eternia story if you read the backs of the boxes. So there you go. Skeletor is the top Masterverse figure of the year. Battle Armor Skeletor. New Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor. And riding on Panther, he is impressive. So before I talk about the Mythic Legions, I'm going to talk about the Figure Obscura guys. Now, these guys are premium, limited releases. And you know when you get this, you're getting something premium. So let's just say these guys are your premium types. Then they have like more like a medium or deluxe class, like Belualyth. Then they have a lower class that is like, I don't know, the Black Knight Templar or whatever. So of these two, the Monkey King is giving me all kinds of trouble. And you can see that I have bandaged that feather on his godly crown. Because guess what? It's just weak. There's been a lot of breakage on this from the beginning. I think I rated it 3 of 5, and I was being optimistic on that. But as the year has gone on, he hasn't gotten better. I like him. I like the way he looks. I can imagine taking him off my shelf, but he's fragile. Mouse King is brand new, so he doesn't have time to break on me. I do not want to pit other Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions against these guys because their paints and their sculpts and their accessories it's just a whole different level of class, and it'd be sort of like comparing the Origins figures to the Masterverse figures, and that's a pretty high bar though for these because Mythic Legions are amazing. Just wanted to get that out of the way. These guys, especially the Mouse King, unbelievable. He's going to just be a regular Rat Warrior soon until next Christmas. Hey, baby, how was that Christmas party? Ha 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 ha. Wait a minute, she doesn't belong there. Also, there's a Cosmic Legions Snoke? What? Alright, I was just joking. I know you knew it. There's no Cosmic Legions Snoke. Instead, it was Undead Builder body with Maxilius's clothes on. Maxilius was with his Lady Death. Notice he's got this. This is not the head that he came with. I'm afraid to take this head off now because I broke his neck. A month ago, and that's been a thing. Undead Builder's been the most useful because that's what he's for, to be useful. You take his parts off, swap them, and they were very helpful in fixing Kanoxx Vull's problems. So you have to see the other video about Kanoxx Vull's problems. But so that brings us to the Warrior Beast Headhunter. A totally generic Scareglow. But he actually was a generic Scareglow in the 80s, and I didn't know that. So this is an update of KO. And he just kind of gets on my nerves. He does not fit with everyone else. It's so bad, I actually thought if the Four Horsemen didn't get me that leg part back, I was going to just take his leg, which is the same, it's a barbarian leg, and paint it purple myself. So, I mean, that's how much I care about this guy. Not much. I took him to the school to guard my aspirin. But that's pretty much it. Maxilius having his problems too. Such a great figure though. You have a bear skeleton, you have a Grim Reaper, and you have a Mythic Legion's undead boss. All those accessories he came with, this would make him a candidate for the best of the year. Except for, like I said, the breakage issue that he has. I like the Ninian infantry so much, I bought 2 of them. And they came armed to the teeth. This is the future, and this is elevating the lowest level. These guys are Legion builders, but look how much. If you remember what I said about the figure Obscura, they are elevating the conversation at the lowest level what the Four Horsemen are putting out at this price point. And so let's see, keep on going around. We have the Undead of Vikenfell. And this is another one I just keep taking the parts of, sort of like a Legion builder. Just take his different parts, swap him. It's almost the point you always forget who he originally was. Or she. Could have been a she. Belualyth. So I already talked about her in the ladies category. And while Evelyn and Teela didn't score with the Masterverse, this one scores with the Mythic Legions. She comes with so much stuff. Look at this sculpt. If she has any problem, it's balance because she has this bird cage on her back. She don't have to have it on her back. She balances just fine. There's a lot of stuff going on in the waist dress area. Sounds like my Spartan pets are having a hard time. It's like her pets. We have what I call the Kitbash brother. This is the red leather knight with other parts swapped out from the Dark Knight Templar. Kitbash Gamecock's Knight. That's what they're for you to buy them and customize them. I don't know. I can't speak with authority. But I think this whole knight thing may be connected with the apparently failed Mythic Legion's Tactics video game. But this is a terrific builder figure, and but it's a Kitbash. I can't put it in the same category. And his hands, they come off way easy. Which brings us around to the Legendary Barbarian, who I've armed with Thunder Punch He-Man's sword. Because there's no question. This is a better He-Man than Thunder Punch He-Man. That's hard to say, because this is not a Mattel figure. But he comes with different head. Different head with beard and stuff. Viking helmet. Comes with black hair, brown hair, and blonde hair. You can make him Conan, He-Man, or just some generic Viking, or some generic Barbarian. There's a lot here. Which of these is the best? Well, We're going to take boring here out and problematic out. These guys are great, but as figures by themselves, not detailed enough paint department. They did come with, they are accessories practically, really, right? They are accessories. Maxilius with his neck breaking problem. Sorry, buddy. Now we're getting into the NPC department. These guys are great, no question about it. They're great. I love them. And they would have to be in the conversation. We'll take Kitbash Brother out. It's a Kitbash. Doesn't really count. So that leaves us with these 5. Undead of Vikenfell is quite similar to Maxilius. No breakage, but doesn't stand very well. Like if I had to keep one of these and I had to throw the other away, I would keep the He-Man knockoff. But if I didn't, these guys came with stuff, lots and lots of paint and sculpt, and like I say, they're elevating the lowest level of the Mythic Legions. That is something else, because the bar was already pretty high. Like, they don't raise their prices that much, even though these are pricey. They haven't been raising their prices that much. Belualyth, on the other hand, I can identify well with her. All these pets. And I like skeleton warriors. I don't know if you noticed, all these were baddies except for, I said baddies. The kids will be like, ooh. Apparently being a baddie means you're good looking. That you have Riz. Sigma Riz. Anyways. It's really hard for me to choose between these 4. Who is the best? Indian infantry. These guys aren't really in the conversation. Just because their genericness does not match the sort of legendary identity of Legendary Barbarian, such a generic name, or Belualyth, the Beastmaster. I'll add your bones to my collection. Ha 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 ha. And so the Indian infantry is ready to thrust that spear right into not He-Man's belly. But the shield is ready and quick. He-Man flips the Snake Warrior over, using the momentum from the spear thrust. The Snake Man has changed his expression to surprise, and as he gets completely flipped. And did the Ninian Legion builder ever really have a chance against Legendary Barbarian? I don't think so. It's been a whole hour, and I've grown my roots out, and this beard. Stole this helmet from an enemy. Maybe I'll go eat some popcorn. Yes, my pets. Our victim doesn't know he's our victim yet. I hope that's Act 2 popcorn. Pop Secret is disgusting. Yes, beautiful. Yes. We need to add his bones to Maxilius's collection. Yes. Attack. How's that for a thunder punch? Pow! No, we must have revenge. You're going to pay for that. Will I? No, your belt buckle. It deflects my sword. And now the hilt of my sword is going to knock you down. You should have used a holy infused sword. This was a skeleton. Where was the gold sword when you needed it? That's why I win. SpartanNerd's Mythic Legion of the Year. Ha 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 ha. Now to take on Skeletor. Who will win the SpartanNerd action figure of the year? At the SpartanNerd Fortress, the poach is on for Naugahyde. You hear that, pork belly? Sounds like a purple panther in this alien jungle. Grunt. Growl. Let's get me Compound Bow ready. The international criminal expert has no idea that this might be his final hunt. He might be an expert on Earth, but this planet isn't home. Growl! Squeal! Squeal! Barbecue pork like they have it on Earth at Robbie's Ribs. Good job, Panther, says Skeletor as he knocks down Naugahyde, sends Pork Belly and Yabo running. Back at the SpartanNerd Fortress Snake Mountain, some ladies wait impatiently. Where is he? I haven't eaten since lunch. I haven't eaten since the snack after lunch. I hear someone. Clap for free food. Rattle, rattle, rattle. A snake rattles in the throne behind Evelyn, New Eternia. What is that? And it jumps around her neck. Rattle, rattle. What is that constricting around my neck? Movie Evelyn and Revelation. Evelyn, run. Screaming snake. As New Eternia Evelyn is taken down. Belualyth enters the room with her bird and her chimera. Squawk. Moo. Meow. Rattle, rattle. When Skeletor arrives, we take his throne. Outside, Skeletor feeds Panther. Good boy, here's your food. Entering his throne room, he says, ladies, you know I always bring the good stuff, as he presents Robbie's Ribs. Blue fire, who changed my colors? He remarks about the flames around his throne. Belualyth says, I hope you got Carolina mustard style barbecue. Then she says, they don't call me the Beastmaster for nothing, as Panther enters the room, growling and knocking Skeletor down. SpartanNerd figure of the year, then, is Mythic Legion's Belualyth, the Beastmaster. Do you agree or disagree, Hub City Geeks? Thanks for watching this long video. Let me know in the comments. I don't know what 2026 will bring. I already have some plans, but I also have plans to slow down on this action figure thing a bit. I'll have more commentary about what's to come, but for this year, Belualyth wins. It's the best action figure that I've bought for the collector's market. That's for the average collector's market. Skeletor is the best New Eternia Masterverse figure, and Naugahyde is the best G.I. Joe classified. Hey, like, subscribe, and hey, go listen to the album. Preach. It's on your favorite streaming platform. Thanks for sticking with me all this time, and Happy New Year.